We officially have running water at our log cabin build. We have what I think is the best off-grid water system. We're not collecting rainwater. It doesn't require electricity. This water right here is coming straight from the ground into a natural spring, and we're using gravity to get it down to the cabin. We're gonna show you the system. So I know it doesn't look like much, but underneath this sheet metal is a natural spring that comes up from the ground. I'm gonna pull it back so you can see. So this is the natural spring. We emptied it yesterday, and this morning it was totally full, even though it's 90 degrees, so it tends to replenish. It's pretty low right now because we drained so much water out, but this hose, see right here, it sits underwater, and that draws water out of the spring. Put this on it so it stays held down. Here's what the spring looks like when it's a little more full. In the future, I'm trying to build the bank up so it retains more water. So this spring, the overflow starts this little crick right here. We have a hose running through here. See the hose right here? That water runs right into these barrels. There's 11 barrels, 605 gallons of water in this system. So to check to make sure the water is drawing from the spring, you're gonna pull this hose right here and siphon it. Each set of barrels has a burp system. So here, the air comes out of here and it burps up on this tree. So it runs down, fills these 3 barrels. We got 4 more barrels down here. There's another separate dedicated burp to this set of barrels. Comes downhill and there's another 4 barrels down here. Another burp over there. And the shut-off switch. Right now that's open, that runs to the cabin. So I wanted to build the cabin in a remote place. I put it at the top of this mountain, on top of a cliff, but intentionally downhill from this spring, because as long as I'm below this, I should be able to have some water flowing with some pressure. With every foot of elevation decrease, you increase the amount of pressure. So the further you are from that spring, the further downhill, the more pressure that the water's gonna come out the hose with. So we cover these with a little camo tarp, throw some rocks on it, and this system, my dad put this system in the late 80s, early 90s. He designed this gravity-fed system. So it really requires very little maintenance. You do have to siphon that hose just to keep making sure you're drawing, but eventually it will be full of water and it will just naturally draw from the spring and replenish itself. When it rains, the spring's full, but the spring naturally fills on its own as well. So before my dad put the system in, it was just a hose from that spring all the way down the hill. And that's how we got water. All right, growing up, we'd use the water to shower, sometimes drink. So this time around, we're gonna test the water, put a filter in, make sure it's good to go. I wanna show you what the water comes out looking like. Pretty clean. Not gonna drink it yet. So for this build, we're following the APA's guidelines for hunting and fishing cabins. That's the Adirondack Park Agency. They have requirements and criteria that have to be met if you're gonna build a log cabin with no permit. You can't be hooked up to the electricity. You can't have a poured foundation. Furthermore, you're only allowed a 1-story structure, but you are afforded a loft. So we are gonna do the loft. Also, this is about 20 by 15, 21 by 16. And that gives us the ability to still put an extension on and not exceed the 500 square foot limit. So the whole build, we want to be in compliance with that, and we still are.
So even though we're in the middle of a heat wave and it's 95 degrees, we always keep the fire going, hoping the smoke will keep the bugs away. It's not so much the mosquitoes as the biting deer flies that just buzz around your head. So as we put these 3 logs on the front wall, we realize it's time to do something we've put off for a long time, and that's to put the door frame in. We're hoping that the door frame will provide some added stability, and particularly the middle part of the front wall, we're trying to keep that in line as it's beginning to bow. And we anticipate once we put the long log across the top, the first full log going in all 4 directions, that should lock the whole thing in and there won't be any more issues. So we finished the day throwing 2 logs on the back wall, and the next day we'll do the door frame.
Pretty successful day, a little bit of a late start. Had to fix a lawnmower this morning, but we got 2 logs on the back wall and 3 on the front. Just for reference to see how close we are to the roof. So you can imagine 1, 2, maybe 3, 4, eventually a long log that connects it, and I'm hoping it locks everything in. The Truzy died. We reached out to them to see if they'd want to enter a social media partnership. No response.
We didn't.
Husqvarna, I did. I really did. Let me get the Truzy. Hold on. Pause. The 6-inch Truzy chainsaw, one of our favorite products. Bye-bye. So, got this 12-inch saw on Amazon. Takes Milwaukee batteries. We'll see how it does. Also, Husqvarna, no response from you either. Emailed you guys, see if you want to help us out. No response. You're similar to the other 49 companies that never responded.
So at this point, we realized we made the door frame just a bit too tall. So we ended up cutting it down from about 6'5" down to a more manageable 6'2". It's just tall enough so we don't hit our heads as we walk through.
We did a little maintenance on the spring. We now have running water. We got this door framed in. We've been putting that off for a long time. Now it's just logs to the roof.
Despite the high temperatures, I managed to get these 3 logs on the sidewall by myself. We're not battling the heat, it's thunderstorming, so it's really slowing the progress. But we gotta keep pushing, so close to getting to the roof.
No fire.
Here we finish up by throwing 4 more logs on the sidewall, 2 butts and 2 passes. And I just want to take this time to thank everyone for watching. We also appreciate everybody who likes the video, comments, subscribes, shares the video. Also, make sure to follow us on TikTok at Adirondack Log Cabin. Once again, thanks everybody for watching, and keep your eyes peeled. We should be posting 2 videos a month.